So I probably don't need to tell you that we're in a really bad place. Kind of feels like we're being driven off the cliff by the biggest idiots who have ever existed, maybe in the history of the planet. This idiot won the presidency by convincing other idiots that he had invented the word groceries. And then telling them that he has absolutely no plan to lower the price of groceries. And none of them care. Not one of them. It's just going to get better somehow, some way. They'll tell you so. It doesn't matter what you say to them. Play his words. Just play the words. They'll tell you you're wrong. Well, I know what to do about the price of groceries. I'm just going to start growing my own. You should too. Let's go. So we had someone save us a bunch of these K-Cups for Keurig coffee. And that's great. They're cool. You've got to tear the top off of it. You've got to get everything out of the inside of it. There's some coffee grounds in there, and there's a filter. It's kind of a pain in the ass to pull that all apart. Honestly, the cappuccino ones, they have no filter in them, so they're much easier. You just tear the top off of those. Eventually, though, you get down to that, and it's about what you want there. You're going to need to clean those up. They're filthy. They've got coffee all in them. Just soak them for a bit. You'll want to wash them up as good as you can, get them nice and clean as possible. So there's the remnants of the filter on that one. You're not going to get it all. Just not all going to come out. And this one here, this is one of the cappuccino ones. See what I'm saying? No filter at all. These are the best, honestly. Here's our buckets. Those Firehouse sub buckets are $3 each. They had the pickles in them, and you're never going to get that smell out of there. Just so you know, they're always going to smell like pickles. The other buckets that came from a bakery, I get those for $2 with a lid. And there's the chemicals that we're using, the fertilizer we're using. I'll put a better picture of that up on the screen here. It's that. Now, when you mix this, it goes in a sequential order. And the instructions say that it all needs to be dissolved before you add the next chemical. So I did it in little stretches at a time. I put the first one in, some water, mixed it as good as I could. And then just in order, just follow that. Just keep, bits at a time. Add the chemical, add some more water, and stir your little ass off till it's all gone. And then you just fill the rest of the bucket up with water. That's my dog snoring there in the background. But I'm going to drill the hole saw. It's 1 3/4 for me, but you're going to use whatever size your cup is going to be. And I made a mistake. I cut the bottom out of that one for this first plant. I'm going to plant, it's either a tomato or a pepper. I'm not even really sure which it is. The starts look very similar, and I don't keep very good track of my stuff, but there it is. Yeah, you're going to want to bust the dirt off of it and get it down to the roots. Yeah, you probably don't want all that dirt going down your drain like I let some go down. But yeah, you bust away all the dirt. You get down to get all the dirt off you possibly can. All right, because you're not growing in that medium anymore. You're using fertilizer, strictly fertilizer, no dirt here for this method. There's our jar, the hole we cut in the top with our 1 3/4 hole saw. I've got some little rocks I'm putting down in this. Again, I have a better method for this that I found out later. It's all trial and error, mostly error. And there's everything. Seedling, K-cup, jar, got some rocks to hold it in place. The root exposed down into the jar. And yeah, that's it. That's it. The only thing left to do is to fill this jar with our solution from our 5-gallon Firehouse sub pickle bucket there. And I did a real piss poor job of framing my shot there once I got it filled up. All you're doing here is you're letting your root from your seedling dangle into the fertilizer, and it's going to give it everything it needs, in theory, to grow into a big strong plant. We'll see how it works out for me. I don't know. I see other people, they They have great results. They all seem to be trying to sell me something, you know? So who knows? It might be great. It might not be worth a damn. Who knows? And there sits the end result. I wrapped it in that paper to try to keep light from getting in, because if too much light gets inside, algae is just going to flourish in there. And like I said, those buckets are for pickles. They are never going to not smell like that, I don't think. I washed them. But here I'm setting up for some squash that I'm trying to grow. And that's the other way there. I told you I had a better way to do your K-cup. If you cut them at the bottom like that, make them look like a little butthole, you can just shove your roots through there and it'll hold it in place itself. It's really nice. And there's my squash hanging out the side of my bucket. And I cut 3 holes in this one. 3 of the 1 3/4 holes to hold 3 squash plants in there. And if you rinse it out after you cut those holes, you won't have that plastic to fish out like I did. And you just want your roots to touch. Okay? You just want your roots to just touch the solution and they'll grow. And there they are. I cut a 1/2 hole in there as well. I'll add more chemical there when it gets low. And the biggest problem I feel like I'm going to have with this setup is making sure there's enough light on it. It's got to have light. It has all the nutrients it needs in the fertilizer, but it's going to need the light. Now, I've got big plans for this system. If it works out, grow some lettuce in there, and I've got some strawberry starts down there. And yeah, they're doing well. And there's some oregano and the devil's lettuce. Oh Lord, the weed with the roots from hell. And that's that. I'll post frequent updates on the progress. And whatever it takes, you're going to need to step up and, hey, no one's coming, babe. It's up to us.
And would you believe